Last year's defence review by Mr. John Knott decided that Britain would only need 2 aircraft carriers in future. But following the very significant role played by the 2 carriers in the South Atlantic, the Royal Navy has now convinced Mr. Knott that in order to guarantee having 2 carriers operational in future, the fleet will actually have to have 3. 3 aircraft carriers of the Invincible class were ordered by the Defence Ministry in the 1970s, but one became redundant last summer when, to Royal Naval protests, Mr. Knott decided only 2 were needed. So Invincible, the first of the class, was put on the market, and Australia agreed to buy her for £175 million, half what she would cost to build today. Britain now wants to keep Invincible to have 3 ships of her type in service, but Australia still wants to buy her. This morning, the Australian Defence Minister, Mr. Ian Sinclair, was greeted on his arrival for talks at the Defence Ministry in London by Mr. John Knott. Mr. Sinclair inspected an honour guard from the Grenadiers before starting his talks. He is also to see Mrs. Thatcher and the Foreign Secretary. The Australians say they're not interested in buying the ageing British carrier HMS Hermes instead of Invincible. They want a ship to last them through into the 1990s. But the Royal Navy thinks Hermes is a highly capable ship. She's larger than Invincible and could be kept for another 10 years. The second of the Invincible-class carriers, HMS Illustrious, may enter service later this year, and the third, HMS Ark Royal, may be ready 2 years later. If Invincible is sold, they, with Hermes, could give Britain 3 carriers until the end of the decade. But then when Hermes has to retire, Britain would either have to build a new carrier or manage with just 2 after all.